Sorry I'm a touch late there, folks.
Your house,
I'm usually pretty much on time for you. Okay. Now once again, pleased with the victory, going on the road and getting a win in a game that we desperately needed to get back in the winning ways, and proud of our team and the way we prepped, the way we went down there and played. It's not the easiest road game as far as how we stay and where we stay and all that, but the players handled it very well. Pleased to get the victory. Again, I felt like we improved in certain areas. This team, we haven't put it all together yet, but definitely improved in certain ways. Obviously very excited for this week's game. Let me start by recognizing veterans. Thank you for all of you that served and everyone who does, and we'll honor them on Saturday. Also be our senior day, and another very, very good, high-quality opponent here in the SEC, hosting Alabama. So once again, I'll call on our fans to wake up at noon and you know what, and they should be ready to roll. Big game, and we need it. We need a great atmosphere. They have responded all year, and we greatly appreciate that. And we're looking forward to getting out there, getting to practice this week, getting better, and preparing for Alabama. Alabama is a team that you can see that is getting better and better. A typical Nick Saban team that is very big, very physical, very talented, and extremely well coached, and seem to be getting better and stronger as the year goes on. And that'll be a big challenge for us, just to match their physicality and improve and have a little better, more disciplined execution here this week, in particular offensively in the second half. But it's going to take a total team effort, and we'll be ready here to have a great week of practice and get ready for a great game.
Are you all hands on deck?
Yeah, we should be. I mean, we'll see. It's Monday, and there's always some bumps and bruises, but everybody is this time of year, and we'll see where we're at.
Mark, 3 things we had before: breaking the losing streak, beating Mississippi State for the first time in a number of years, and being bowl eligible. Which makes you most happy?
All the above, I guess. Just as I mentioned, I really didn't think about too much in the past or anything like that. I mean, we're in the current moment. I didn't deny that we needed a victory. We just needed to play well. Our players have been working hard and practicing hard, and eventually you want to see those results in the win column. So, I've been preaching to them to be, single-minded in their focus and really focused on what they have to do in the particular moment. And so it's much the same for us.
Mark, did Devin get something in his eye? Was it a head injury? Do you expect anything long term?
Yeah, I just again, I already commented on that once. I'll just stay away from it. I mean, yeah, he was having a hard time reading off the wristband at that particular moment.
Mark,
He could read it now.
there were times earlier in the year, I mean, Devin showed flashes, but wasn't putting it together consistently. You were asking more of him, and he has delivered the last 2 weeks. How impressed are you with the way he turned the corner?
Yeah, he really has. I thought, in that game, there were some frustrating moments, and there's maybe a few plays, a few reads, a few, I think there's a few plays out there that Devin would even say he had some better options, and we missed it. But overall, he did a really good job. I mean, he withstood a bunch of pressure. Again, you know that going into it. They make it tough the way they disguise and bring pressures and mix up their looks. And, he really did a nice job. He stood in there very strong. He escaped. He made plays when he had to. Delivered some really good passes, even a couple that were incomplete while under some duress. And we had a couple drops in there for him, and so overall, I thought, he really played pretty good. We did, back off late in the game. We were getting inefficient. We were ahead, and probably backed off a bit late.
Coach, you talk about their Alabama's physicality, but they also have a lot of speed. How do you intend to neutralize man beaters like Jermaine Burton and Isaiah Moore?
Yeah, they that's typical when you're playing a great team. As a defensive coach, you always look at teams. They're physical. Very big physical offensive line, great backs, physical backs. Their quarterback's a monster, and then great speed. Great talent outside. That's what makes it difficult to defend because you have to play with numbers, and then you have to be able to win some one-on-ones against some super talented wide receivers.
You mentioned the quarterback. How do you contain a guy like Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, he obviously is tough to defend. When he's off schedule, just like last week, you could see his confidence getting better and better. He really throws a very pretty ball down the field, a very strong arm, and getting better and better. And you could tell they're gaining a lot of confidence, and he is as well.
Do you see the defense get excited for a challenge like that?
Well, we're going to have to. Yeah, absolutely. I think, we better, you know what you're getting when you play Bama. You got to maybe put a few extra pads under their shoulder pads and buckle them up because it's going to be tough. It's going to be physical, and they're going to keep on coming at you, and we have to be able to match that.
Mark, there's the video from the broadcast. It looked like Jatan got hurt on the sideline where maybe a Mississippi State player wrenched his head a little bit. Did you see that? And have you talked to the league at all about that sequence?
Yeah, I did not see it during the game. I did not know he was hurt after the play. I didn't know that during the game. And I really didn't know until after the game. And so I saw the video on the plane, and obviously was very alarmed by that. You never want to see a young man hurt in general, let alone while the game's not being played. So, we sent that into the league, and it's out of my hands.
Coach, after the game Saturday, you said it was a game that you felt like you had a really good plan. What adjustments did you make after the loss to Tennessee to create a plan you were confident in?
Well, I think we just played better. We obviously defensively we played better. Not perfect. Still missed a couple, tackles and plays on the perimeter, but overall met a lot of goals. Played very well. Had quite a few 3-and-outs. Basically felt like, outside of the one drive, played really pretty clean defensively. Offensively, I think, again, there's plays that we're leaving out there. We got to continue to execute at a higher level. And just there's a lot of little details in there. You knew it was going to be, some problems going into the game. They create some negative yardage plays, and they did. And we were able to overcome them at times, and at times we weren't.
You mentioned Sarko had to like running consistent, competition that happened this year after you started off so strong. What's the focus on this week about maintaining that consistent ball?
Yeah, and I talked about it post game. It was probably on my mind. It was a little, and it still wasn't, clean enough, but it was a little more efficient than I felt after the game. We did have some efficient, runs in there, and so it wasn't quite as bad as I felt after the game, but still not good enough when we're starting a drive or P&10 or 1st and 10 and get 0 or -1. That feels like that's really stalling us. For efficient run for us is +4, but +0's what kind of sticks in your mind.
Okay. Obviously, Kevin Steele's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you see from him in this Alabama defense?
Yeah, Kevin Steele's been around a long time. Very good coach, and what you see is a lot of what you see with Coach Saban. A lot of staples that have been there. Each coordinator maybe have a wrinkle here, a wrinkle there, but overall, you see a defense that's very multiple, very physical, and definitely create problems. They do a great job of mixing up their looks and, just subtle things that maybe not everybody sees with leverage and the way they, are very complicated on the back end. They do a great job.
Mark, you had two kind of newcomers in the secondary with Ty. JQ got in there for a lot of snaps. How do you feel they're progressing back there?
Getting better. And we need him to. I think JQ is a guy that we need to bring along. Played some early, did some good things, and is getting some more snaps right now, and he's doing good. Ty's been solid. Ty's been pretty solid the past couple weeks.
Coach just got announced Ty as SEC co-freshman of the week.
Okay. Congratulations, Ty.
Mark, it looked like Darian went down with a non-contact injury there. Is that one a serious one?
We'll see when we get the results back from the MRI.
And going off of that, Tatum Gadsden got in late in the game and had a half sack. Is he a guy that we might see more of now that?
Yeah.
I think his right should.
Yeah, he had two shoulders in the off season, so he's a young man that I wanted to be very careful with. After going through rotator cuff surgery myself in the off season, for that young man going through two of them, I wouldn't want to see him do that again. I want to make sure he was healed up very well and getting stronger, and make sure he can get out there and protect himself. And we feel like he's got a bright future.
Coach, could we see Ty get significant playing time this weekend?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's ready to handle it?
We'll see. Yeah.
Mark, why is Nick Saban so successful? When you think of Nick, what do you think of?
That's a great question. I mean, when I think of, Nick, I think, the first thing that comes to my mind, just respect. I have just a ton of respect for Coach. He's been successful for a long, long time. And, he has his methods and his way. And from an outsider, my brother Mike did work for him for 2 years and has nothing but respect for Nick and Coach. And of course, I've known him for a long time, but never worked with him. But I think that's what I just think of respect, just the way he's done things consistently. He's like a machine.
Mark, how do you keep everybody focused on it's just another game if players are going skewing in their minds that we're playing Alabama this week? And you don't want that at all.
Yeah, for us, I mean, we play in a lot of big games, so, I mean, playing in this league, you have to, get ready for big games, big names, big programs, and so, I don't think, that they need to be distracted in any way. I mean, they need to stick to the things we've been really focusing on, and that is our focus, and taking care of business day by day, and even playing that way. I think we've been playing smarter the past couple of weeks. We've needed to. We talked about this past week disciplined execution, and you saw that at times, but we can improve. I mean, so whether we're playing Alabama or anybody, it's truly about us, and that's the only thing we can control is how we practice, how we prepare, and make sure we have a good plan and put our players in a position to be successful, and then we got to go play.
Mark, Brad said after the game the other day something kind of interesting. He's like, there's going to be all this attention on Garrett's pick six, but he's like, really, the fact that we held him to a field goal on a 20-play drive, the drive before, you saw guys really taking confidence from that. Did you kind of notice that on the sideline after that happened?
Yeah, I think that was a big play for us. I mean, again, and I talked about it after the game, but I mean, that's the resolve, the toughness that we need to have, that we pride ourselves on here for a long time. And they may get some first downs and move the ball. We don't like that. We don't love that. But we dug in and held them to a field goal. To them, it had to be a little bit tough or demoralizing in a way to only come away with 3 after such an efficient drive.
Mark, I think Saturday was the first time since the opener you had your original 5 starting offensive linemen. How did that go? Did the interior of the line, is the interior of the line play where you want it?
Probably not. Probably not. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I mean, we need to be better. I'm gonna tell you the truth, you know what I mean? And I don't like throwing any individuals under the bus, but I mean, I've also told you when the quarterback or receivers or DBs, you name it, yeah, we need to play a little better. We need to be more consistent. I expect us to play better than that.
Some of that
What's lacking there? Is it technique, communication, not finishing blocks, a combination of?
All the above, but there's some things that are, they present some challenges, okay? But, yeah, yes, but some of it was inexcusable. It's things that we have repped many times, not just in this week. And that's the communication part. Like, it's inexcusable with the amount of reps that we have on certain targets. And that leads to negative yardage runs. I mean, when there's no excuse for it whatsoever. And then there's other parts where you're getting beat or not physical enough or technique. And, so, yeah, a little bit of all the above.
A lot of what you talked about in the past is just struggling with the movement. Is the Alabama defense, I don't think they're going to be as complicated as the 3-3-5, but do they do a lot of that sort of movement?
Sure they do. Yeah, sure they do. Everybody does. And they do it with really good players, so, the penetration and, it's still, it's going to be there until we get it fixed, so, and we have at times, It wasn't completely inefficient, but there's just some things that I was talking about right there that just aren't excusable. I can't defend it.
Mark, the offense is in the top 10 nationally in points per play, but those plays are still lagging a little bit behind. It looked like the last 2 weeks there was a little bit of an effort to get more tempo.
At times, at times we still have to get the plays. We got to get in, get them going, and there's some things there that we just have to work on, and just getting more efficient in calling the plays, getting the plays called, get to the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of plays where we have shifts and motions and things, and we're in a bit of a hurry, and the plays are getting called, with plenty of time. So, again, there's room for improvement. Let's just leave it at that. There's room for improvement, being more efficient.
Mark, you mentioned Milrose's confidence. I know you're focused on your own team, but they had an interesting quarterback situation at the start of the year. They bring 2 other guys in, he gets the job back. What does that do for a football player's confidence? Does it help that he got the job back, or are you assessing his confidence just that he's playing better?
No, I think, that's what, again, we all want in our players is that toughness and that resolve. So you could see that with that young man. You could just see the way he plays, and I'm sure his coaches and his team respect him even more because he handles it like a man and wants what's best for his team. And you could see him now taking full control and taking over at times.
Mark, I know this isn't the first time you've been asked this, but how do you feel when you hear the stat about you and Nick Saban are the longest tenured coaches in the SEC?
Again, I refer back to the earlier question about past experiences in Starkville or anywhere else. I mean, I really just stay in the present. I mean, I'm fortunate. I feel gratitude, from a lot of people that have put a lot into it. I don't take that for granted, but I'm really just kind of trying to get this victory right here.
Mark, the tight ends seem to be a big focus of the passing game against Tennessee, and less so in Starkville. Is that the way the defenses were playing? And why is the tight end position seem to sort of come and go?
Well, I think one of the reasons is plays. 24 first downs. And I know that's a simple reason, but it's very accurate. We talked about it post Tennessee or whatever. When you get 24 first downs, you're going to spread the ball around. You're going to get more plays. Guys are going to get more touches, and hopefully you get more yards and things like that. You got to get it moving. Three and outs don't help. I think we had 3 and maybe 1 4 and out. Yeah, 3, 4. No, we had 4 3 and outs and 1 4 and out. That's not going to lead to a lot of touches for people.
we know that cliche games are won in the trenches, but Bama, obviously, they're notable for just getting that extra push. How much of an emphasis is that this week, just, up front there?
Yeah, I think, you know what you're going to get with Bama. I mean, big, strong dudes, big and physical, and they always are, and, not just in the trenches, across the board. And that comes from, great recruiting and great developing. They develop their players and work at it, and they're very physical.
Coach, circling back to Ty, what are some of the things you've seen him do that has earned him the accolade he received this morning?
Ty, I think, really, we could go back to last spring and sitting right in here, and I think you could just hit repeat from what I said. Y'all can repeat what I said. He's just been very solid, very consistent. He's a young man. For a freshman, he goes about his business in a good way. And I think even a lot of older guys can learn from that because he has the concentration. He's really focused on what he needs to do. That doesn't mean he's perfect. He's a freshman. He's learning. He's getting better. And, that's one thing, you got to be careful of. And you don't want to constantly, put the cart before the horses, you know what I mean? Because you want to let people grow, you know what I mean? And not but as far as his work ethic, his detail, and the way he goes about his business, he does a very good job, and that translates to the field. Again, not always, not perfect, and that's what makes me hesitant to get in here and brag or talk about freshmen sometimes, because then everybody starts all hyping them up, and let the young men grow up the way they need to.
Yeah, he also got that extra year of high school. He decided to stay there. What
That's
did you
true.
get out of that experience?
Again, I think just some maturity. Some maturity. He just, to me, he's just been a very mature young man. He comes in, he handles his business, he works hard, does his job, and he'll find his voice as a leader as he grows within our program. But right now, the first, part of leadership is handling oneself, and he does that in a great way.
Staying at that position, it looked like Zion had probably his best game in a little bit. What did you kind of see from him this season, the performance he had Saturday?
Yeah, Zion, again, this guy that has quite a bit of experience, played a lot of football, and, he's reliable for us, Again, not perfect, but I like the way he goes about his business as well. And he is a bit more of a vocal leader now.
Any other questions? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.